Well, hello there, friends. It's Mike Dawes here, coming to you from my home here in the UK in a town called Bristol. That was an extract of a piece of mine called Somewhere Home from my first album, What Just Happened. And it actually features on my new live album, which is coming out on October the 30th, called Shows and Distancing Live in the USA. A live album in 2020, who knew? And the reason I thought I'd share that little extract with you today is because it actually makes a wonderful little guitar lesson and introduction into the world of DADGAD tuning, which is what I'm in right now. This piece was actually one of the first tunes I wrote when I discovered DADGAD, or D-A-D-G-A-D tuning, when I was sort of about 17 or 18 years old. The astute and visually aware of you will notice that I am capoed on fret 2, so instead of D-A-D-G-A-D, we are actually a tone higher, but the intervals are the same. I thought I'd take you through that little extract today, just to introduce you to this tuning if you haven't already tried it, you know? It's a really, really wonderful tuning that opens up so many wonderful tonal possibilities of the acoustic guitar, particularly if you're interested in playing around with lots of open strings and thinking like a piano with the sustain pedal held down. A really, really useful open tuning to fill an auditorium with sonic joy and loveliness. So let's get started. So to begin with, the first phrase begins the tune sort of before the beat a little bit. That first strum of that first D major chord there, or in this case, E major, forgive my capo language, comes in on the first beat there. That first chord comes in on the first beat. However, the tune itself is very free time. So instead of playing it very rigidly, sort of like a waltz, that's a bit boring and lifeless. I play it very, very free time, very free flowing, and with a bit of improvisation as well. So sometimes that first run might be arpeggiated, sometimes. All kinds of different strumming techniques are employed. You can choose what you like. But either way, we're starting on the second string and the top string with a hammer on there on fret 2 on the top string before bringing down what is essentially a D5 chord in DADGAD tuning. I am going to be talking in D language as if we didn't have the capo. Makes my mind work better. You can associate it. All you perfect pitch people, I apologize. Anyway, we add the third on top as part of that little chord there to make it major, okay? And that's our home little note there. Then we have this lovely little fill. Now, instead of going to the major third, I thought that was a little cheesy, so I gave it a little bit of flavor, a little bit of spice by going onto the third fret to that minor third note there. Then we're playing sort of the same notes on the top, but we're accenting a sort of B minor chord by hitting that B in the bottom, B minor being the relative major of D. Again, capo language. I know we're actually in C sharp and E relatively, but ignore that. We're going to carry on with normal uncapoed language there. So that first chord, we have a little passing note there as we go open. And the bass keeps descending as we land on the 5th fret there and sort of accent this sort of G sort of chord here. Any of these sort of arpeggios can be picked or strummed. It's the beauty of DADGAD tuning. It's very hard to actually sound crap. Enjoy that. Something that you don't get in standard tuning. Always give the neck a bit of a wiggle, gives you extra points, extra rocket sauce. Arpeggiate and strum everything, make it glorious. Here, I'm arpeggiating the bottom string and the open G string and the top 2 strings. And then this third finger, you'll notice, actually slides onto the 5th fret there to complete that chord on its sort of descent. Then we slide that up and access this lovely shape. It's a sort of suspended shape built around sort of A major. It starts just open on the top there, so we have the open A string, the G string, and then 2 notes on fret 7 there. But as we come down, we resolve it with the G string, a fret lower, and then the D string on the 5th fret. Again, capo language. You're with me. We might start the phrase again, maybe with harmonics that time. Natural, natural, hammer on. The cool thing about playing with harmonics and hammering on is that you do keep some of the qualities of that note there, which is really nice. Hopefully you are enjoying the luscious reverberant tones of the ToneWood amp, which I have on my guitar as always, available at all good retailers and from ToneWoodamp.com. In fact, you can get 10% off if you go on my Instagram bio, pro tip. We're back to this home phrase. We repeat the same as before, but instead of going up on the B minor, on that top string, we're actually going, the melody has a variation there. Same as before, but now we slide down to fret 2 and get this lovely chord there. Open A string, open G string, 5th fret on the 2nd string, top string open. As we come up the arpeggio the 2nd time, we're hitting this note here, the 1st finger on the 2nd fret there, okay, on the D string, to give it its character. Then we're going to go around the phrase again for the 3rd time, but this time I thought I'd add in an open bass note there, and then as we hammer on the top string, we're going to bring in the thumb. The thumb, which is so lazy and absent from most of my compositions and arrangement, but it comes in here today to add in that sort of 2nd on the bottom there. Then we come up to this beautiful melodic variation. Here we have open, G string 6, then 5th fret, then 7th fret. And that slides up here, so the pinky and the melody end up on fret, well, it's actually fret 11, but in capo language, you get it. It's this one, it's the one that sounds like this. With the 2nd finger there, on the G string, the B string or 2nd string is open. Then we have this lovely little harmonic pattern. I'll play it in context. Went a bit off the rails. Okay. These two harmonics, this top harmonic is part of the melody, and then this G string harmonic there, again on the 12th fret. Capo language, I'm actually on 14, but it's 12. Then this is the tricky part. You've got to get that harmonic ringing, then continue the melody here, and then hit this harmonic, again, the octave point on the 2nd string, but without muting the G string. Having both ringing will really help this fill the room and sound like a piano, okay? Okay, pinky on the 4th fret, bass note, pull off, arpeggiate. If you can, try and have that 2nd string ringing when you play that 4th fret note. We don't want that string to get muted. It just makes it sound that much more pretty. Okay? Easiest thing in the world, we're just arpeggiating the open strings there. A string, G string, 2nd string, top string. Back to that 1st resolution. Same as before, but then we end. On the 3rd fret, little hammer on. Then we hit that 2nd string before we pull off the top string and resolve to a nice root power chord, which in DADGAD would be open, well, from bottom to top, open, 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 2nd fret, open, open. One more time from the top, sounds something like this. String ringing, Beautiful. Okay, a few things there. Again, I mentioned there's some improvisation. I chose not to do the harmonics that time on the second little repetition of the line. Also, I was doing this at one point. This little, what I call a Rosguedo, like a Rasguedo, but dedicated to my friend Don Ross. What I'm doing there, whatever the chord is that you want to do it on, it's a little technique of going 1, 2, 3, 4. Where that fourth hit is the beat. So in your own music or in your own arrangements, you might want to add one of those in to add some emphasis. So we're going 1, 2, 3, strike. Don Ross does it a lot. The way to do that is to plant 3 fingers on the top 3 strings. In this case, you know, you know what? In this case, I'll do it. Doesn't even matter about the chord. I'm teaching you a technique. We're gonna rest 3 fingers on the top 3 strings. We're gonna peel off. The key word there is peel. We're not picking with our knuckles, we're just peeling off like a band-aid, okay? 1, 2, 3, and then the middle finger comes down for a last strike. So that's 1, 2, 3, strike. What I did in that little extract was strike the sound hole as well. You can hear that gorgeous ToneWood amp reverb ringing out. So that's the first little extract from the song Somewhere Home. Again, features on my new live album, Shows and Distancing, live in the USA, dedicated to my favorite country and also my favorite thing, playing actual live shows, which we're not doing right now. But speaking of live shows, I actually have a live stream concert available through my website, which is happening on the 1st of November. So if you head to mikedawes.com, perhaps there'll be a link in the description, perhaps not. That all depends on whether the editor of this video watched all the way till the end. So we'll find out. But mikedawes.com, 1st of November, live stream. I'll be online playing a whole set of tunes. Maybe this one will be included. Considering the song is called Somewhere Home and it was written at a time where I was traveling around trying to figure out what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, age sort of 18, as a sort of little UK traveling troubadour, I think it's pretty appropriate to play it on the live stream and include it on the record, a record that's dedicated to something that we all miss, well, certainly I miss, live music. So for all the guitar players out there, good luck with that introduction to DADGAD tuning. I hope it proves fruitful for you, and enjoy the record. And when all this does resume, see you on the road. Until then, see you at the live stream. Take care, guys. Peace.